What's up, CEOs? Welcome to How to Be an Auto Broker. I say welcome because I've had so many people ask me about opening up the Auto Broker program. So I am first giving you some information on like what it is and how to do it wrong, how to do it right, all that stuff. To see if other people are interested in brokering vehicles. But then, I'm going to let you know that, it's time for the auto broker training because, people have been excited about this one. So if you're watching right now, then just hit replay because you're probably watching a replay. But I'm getting some people coming into the room. What's up, CEOs? Who is with me this morning? I am really hype about brokering vehicles because I feel like it is a lifesaver if you know how to do it and do it well. Like, not only a lifesaver, but like it can legit like build your business. So let me see if you can hear me. Hey, good morning, Eric. And so let's see, can you hear me? Good morning, Corey. What's going on? I'm thinking you can hear me, but just let me know you can hear me. It said my mic was on, so I'm like, okay, hopefully it's working. All right, so I have a lot of new CEOs in the group right now. So I just want to reintroduce myself. I'm Shamel Leonard. I started this group so that I can help you to build your auto business and make 6 figures, all while being a true CEO where you never step foot in your office. So this is the part where I'm helping you build your skills, build your knowledge, so that this business can run on its own without you being there every day, babysitting your business. Okay. What's up, Carlos? Good morning. Okay. Eric says he can hear me fine. Corey says he can hear me. Okay, great. All right, so auto brokering cars. Let me first say how I stumbled across it, brokering cars and what I did right and wrong, or really what I did wrong, because starting out, I did it all wrong. Okay, real talk, I did it all wrong. What's up, Allison? What's going on? It's been a minute. How you doing? So when I got licensed, I was working with my husband at the time, and I got licensed, added him to the license, and then we hit it hard. Now, we had a little bit of money for cars, but without the knowledge that I'm giving you guys now, because I'm literally giving you what I wish I had in the beginning, we quickly spent that money. We spent it on bad deals. We didn't protect our profit, so we didn't get enough money from each car that we sold. We sold cars desperately, meaning like we discounted cars, so we didn't make that much money. Like, we did all the stuff wrong. Like, it was trying to fix my little poof here, but yeah, it was I don't think I did any better. But yeah, it was rough. Okay, it was rough. And we quickly ran out of money. And then we were in a situation where we were like, but we still have bills though. Like, we still have this rent to pay for this building, not to mention our own expenses, because we were in the business full time. So this was like our only gig. Okay. So, we still had rent. We still had our insurance because we were on a payment plan for it. We still had bills and we still needed to make income. So thinking on my feet, I was like, well, we got access to the auction. Let's buy cars for people. Okay. But now this was my first mistake. What I thought I was going to do was going to buy the same cars that we were selling. Okay. Because of course we were selling cash cars. Lots of people start out selling cash cars because you don't need a whole lot of money to buy them. And they sell quickly. You think they'll sell quickly because you can quickly discount them if you need some money, right? What's up, Pierre? So we were buying cash cars, auto brokering to people. A mistake number one. Okay. Reason why that was a mistake is because those are the cheapest most used cars. So, you know, at the very least, the interior needs some TLC. Okay, so in addition to any repairs, so when people would see the cars, they wouldn't be jazzed about it. They'd be like, ew, you know, like they're dirty, they need repairs, et cetera, et cetera. So it was very hard to make that a deal. So that was mistake number one. Mistake number two was taking people to auction. Now you can have guests come with you to the auction, okay? Usually you can have 2 per auction access pass. So I would bring in a guest, someone who I was buying a vehicle for, and I would, you know, have them look around and pre-qualify what the vehicle was, and they would, you know, be able to pick out their vehicle. So I'm thinking that that's gonna be less liability on my end, because they're going to the auction, they're seeing the car, they're picking it out, they're test driving it because they're test driving it on the test track. So I'm like, cool, all I'm doing is getting them in the auction, showing them the cars, and they're saying yes or no. And then I'll buy the car. So that worked, you know, like 30% of the time, only because you know how it is at the auction. You know how it is for you. Like when you first went that very first time and you stepped out there on the yard and you were like, dang, look at all these cars. And it's overwhelming. And so trying to get somebody who wants to buy, who has a limited budget to buy one really good car to focus was difficult, taking them to the auction, because they're seeing all kinds of stuff and they're like, ooh, I've always wanted that car. Ooh, how much is this? Because in their mind, they're like, well, you get cars wholesale, so I could get anything I want. No, you can't. That's not exactly how it works. Let's focus and let's get you a car. So that was very difficult to do. Okay, so that was mistake number two, taking people to the auction. And then also showing them the cash cars. Like not everybody has vision like us auto dealers do. So they can't look at it and be like, oh, all that is just vacuum and some car seats covers, you know, and then you're good. For them, they're like, ew, this car is old. Yeah, because you got old car money. But I get it, because when you buy it from a lot, it's at least cleaned up. It at least looks better, right? So that was mistake number two. Mistake number three was on the tip of my tongue. What was it? I think it was not getting all the money up front. So you have to definitely ask for all the money that it's going to cost to bid on that car up front, so that when you bid on that car, you can just pay for it and you know, make the deal work. And then this is one mistake that I did not make, because I probably in another life was a lawyer, because I quickly put together an agreement. I knew that if I was going to take cash from anybody, I needed to have some agreement to outline guidelines of, you gave me money and this is what you can expect, okay? Because I didn't want any funny business when it came to, oh, you got my money and now you're not delivering. I don't play those games. So that is one thing I did right, was to have a contract in place. And that's what I encourage you to do. So why am I going through all of my mistakes? Because I know that this is a common train of thought. Like if you're in the business and you need money for inventory, you still want to sell cars, you're like, let me broker cars, and you're trying to do it a certain way and you're stumbling and it's not working out for you. And you're like, dang, this isn't working out for me either. No, that is not the case. It's not working out because you do not have the blueprint to make it work out. Okay, because it can work out. Can I get an amen? Because I know there are some people who are auto brokering cars and they're doing well. Auto brokering cars. So what is an auto broker? An auto broker is basically, I define it as, I don't know if this is the official definition, but I define it as you don't have the inventory and you're selling a car. Okay, so you are going to find the inventory, you're going shopping for a car, you're going to buy a car, you're taking an order for a car. That's how I define auto brokering. Okay, so how to do it. The way that I found to do it is I have found to do it with purpose, one. And the purpose is that you are building up your online sales portfolio, okay? You're building up a reputation of selling to people sight unseen, and you're building evidence for that because you want people to know that they can trust you going to buy a car, okay? They can give you money. They don't even have to see it. They don't have to test drive it. And then what they get at the end is something that is beyond their wildest dreams, or, you know, like something they want, okay? It doesn't have to be over and above. It's just what they expected, okay? So that is how to do it. Was that how to do it? What did I say? I said, yeah, so yeah, that's the purpose. Okay, so that was number one of how to do it. So the purpose is you have a bigger goal for your auto brokering. Like you're creating an auto brokering program basically is the bigger goal. Like this is a stream of revenue for you. That's what I want to say. This is a stream of revenue for you, okay, that you're building up and you're building evidence for that works. So it can continue to be a stream of revenue and it can continue to be a great stream of revenue, okay? So how you want to do it is you want to buy cars that are a little more expensive than cash cars, okay? You do not want to buy $1,500 cars. Please do not take somebody's $1,500 and go to the auction. It's going to be a headache for you. Think about you finding a $1,500 car to even put on your lot or to sell in your business. And then think about selling that same car to somebody for $1,500. A $1,500 car that you buy at the auction, you're selling for $3,500. So that's number one. Okay. And if that's something you don't know, then you definitely need to get some training so you'll know like what you're buying and what you can expect in profit. Okay. So that's number one. So don't take $1,500 to go to the auction. That is a headache. You don't want anything less than $3,000. You know, I'd say really $5,000 is my cutoff. Is $5,000. Like $5,000 or more. You have $5,000 or more. I'm going to buy you a car. Okay, because at $5,000, I have room to buy a wonderful car that may not need repairs, that may need just a light detailing, and makes me great profit. Okay, so the profit, how to do it, the profit. How much profit do you guys want to make on these auto broker deals? How much do you think you should make? How much do you think is possible? How much have you been making on these auto broker deals? What's up, Antonio? For me, my minimum is $800. So I'm at the very least getting $800 for my broker deal. But that's up to you. Like, you want to make sure that the profit is good for you. So what's your profit that you want to make on an auto broker deal? At least 700. Okay, Pierre. Yeah. Okay. And my logic with 800. So first, I make $1,500 or more on cars that I sell that are in my inventory. Okay. That's number one. Good morning, Jesse. That's number one. $1,500 or more is my profit on cars that I sell that's in my inventory. Okay. So then for me, if I don't have to hold it in inventory, if it, it's a quick sale, I don't have to hold it. I didn't do all the regular things, that I would do for inventory. So I can take I can take less. Travis says 1,000. Okay. Yeah. 1,000. That's a good one. So I can take less. And I say bare minimum is 800. So I don't just make 800 on auto broker deals. It depends on how much meat is on the bone. All right. But I'm upfront and I disclose everything in my contract with my customer. And at the end of the day, they get a good deal. All right. So I think I covered how to do it. Did I cover how to do it? If there's something else that you want to know about how to broker vehicles, let me know. I'm going to go on to how to do it wrong, and then just type your questions. Okay. How to do it wrong. Not taking a contract when somebody gives you money. That's number one no. Not getting all the money up front before you bid on the car. That's a no. Also, taking your customers to the auction. Now, I use discretion on that too, because it depends on like what kind of car I'm buying, if you will. Like if I'm buying a very expensive car, then I may want to take my customer and, let them see and approve it beforehand. Okay. Because that's not a customer I want to be unsatisfied. All right. But for these cash cars or, for the cheaper budget cars, then yeah, my rule is to not take anyone to the auction. So that's how to do it wrong. I would have to say also how to do it wrong is, thinking about selling a car to somebody who needs financing. That is difficult to do in this day and age. Now, I think before it might have been a little easier because finance companies weren't asking for the title before they funded the deal. And it happened right along the time when I was becoming like a seasoned dealer, that more and more finance companies was like, nah, we need to see the title. We need to see it with your name in the assignment section. Okay. Or not your name, but your dealership name in the assignment section. Okay. So now that they need to see the title, that doesn't really work for auto broker deals because you don't have the title until you buy the car, right? Or the title might not even come in from the auction. So you don't have the title. Now, this is something that I forgot to mention before on how you can do financing. Now, financing can work. One, you have to just make sure that the person is truly pre-qualified. What I mean by truly, I mean you've already looked at their documents. You know that their income documents check out. You know that they're already approved credit score wise. Basically that all you need to do is put a car with this customer and it's a done deal. Okay. Because this customer is already ready to go for this financing. Okay. So if you have a customer like that and you can buy the car with the down payment that they had budgeted to give, then this can possibly work as a finance deal. Now, keep in mind, there are some extenuating circumstances, if you will, like if you don't have if the title isn't at the auction, then if the title company needs, or if the finance company needs to see that, then how are you going to do that? Will they take an invoice from the auction? Okay, they may take an invoice from the auction as proof of ownership, but that's something you have to make sure you know beforehand. Darius says, what would be the best way to draft a contract, or where can I find ideas on it? I don't know what's the best way to draft a contract. I mean, you can look online for like contracts and then take different pieces and put them together. But there's also a contract in the auto broker program, the contract that I use. There are certain things that I definitely have in my contracts. One, I always have a mediation clause because I want to avoid the expense of court. And if we have a legally binding contract that we will mediate instead of going to court, then it's cheaper. And then, of course, the mediator is legally binding, like that decision is legally binding. So I would say that's one thing you want to definitely make sure you have in there. That's if that's your goal, like if that's also your goal. Now, spoiler alert, that should be your goal, is to save money and use a mediator instead of the court system. Okay, so that's one thing. Because in your contracts, you got to address what happens if something goes wrong. Like, what happens if you're not satisfied with the car? What happens if, you know, yeah, if you're not satisfied with the car? What happens if I don't buy a car within a certain time frame? You have to just address what's the process if something goes wrong. That's what your contract is there for. Because if something goes wrong, the customer's automatically going to be mad, and when they're mad, it's all kinds of threats. Okay, but if they're a certain kind of customer, hopefully they're not. Hopefully they're like, okay, let's work this out. But your contract will already discuss, well, this is a process you agreed to if things didn't go according to plan. Hopefully that answers your question, Darius. Corey, are there broker contracts online somewhere, or do you print up your own? There are broker contracts online at Auto Dealer Business School in the Auto Broker program. So if you decide to join the Auto Broker program, I give my contract to you, and I update it when things change. So you'll always have an updated contract. Other than that, you just have to piece it together from different verbiage you see from other contracts, which is totally possible to do. Chris says, are you getting their money and getting exactly what they want? Yes. So my contract also says exactly what it is I'm bidding on. So now there have been a couple of times where we've had a couple of different options. So they would be happy with car A, car B, or car C. My contract has all of that in there. VIN numbers, make, model, because if it comes down to it and they're like, I didn't tell you to buy that car, that's another thing you need your contract to protect you from. If they're like, I didn't tell you to buy that car, well, per the contract, you did. You knew I was going to buy this car with this VIN number, and this is the car I bought with that VIN number. Okay. So yes, I get exactly what they want from what is available, because a lot of times customers come to me and they want something that's not available, but they will agree to take something else because either they are in a time crunch and they need something, or they just fell in love with something else in the process, and that's fine. But I need to make sure that we have that documented somewhere, basically. Okay. Corey says, you answered my question too. Oh, okay, great. Chris, or is there a range of options you get from them so that you're not limited? Yes, Chris, yep. I know you typed that before I even went through that whole explanation of yes, we have a range of options, okay? Because I could get to the auction and a lot of things happen at the auction, y'all, and you already know this, okay? And if you don't know this, then that's also something I cover in my planning, my training, all the stuff that can happen at the auction. So you know that you can get to the auction and the car that you want to bid on is not even going through the lane. Okay, and that can happen for a number of reasons. One, the seller pulled it. Two, whatever, something happened, it broke down, something happened, okay? So that's number one. So I need to have a range of options, one, to cover that issue. Two, what if it goes for way more than what we have budgeted for the sale? Okay, well then I'm not giving up my profit to just buy them a car. So next, we're on to the next car. Okay, again, need to have a range of options, because now we're at the auction and it's too late for me to be getting last minute approvals. That's not even how I roll. I'm not like, yeah, okay, well that one didn't pan out, so now what? No, now we're on to option 3. Okay, and now option 3, good price, everything is great, it's there, it's still in the same condition it was when I pre-qualified it. So bam, we have a deal. All right, so any more questions? These are, I'm covering now like how to do it right, in my opinion, okay, how to do it right. Something else I want to say on how to do it right is post your sales, okay? Post on social media, on your website, wherever, that, hey, I bought this person a car, I brokered this deal, and this is the deal I brokered for them, okay, on this car. So you want to definitely make sure you post, because again, you are building up, you're building up a reputation of being able to do this, so it can be a strong revenue stream for you. There was something else that I was just thinking about, how to do it right, that I think I just forgot about, but hopefully it will come back to me. What was it about? Was it about the cars? Was it about, I can't remember. Any questions? Are all of these options pre-inspected? Thank you, Darius. That's exactly what I was talking about. Or not talking about. That's what I was thinking about, and I forgot to mention, okay? I was just trying to remember. So yes, my options are all pre-inspected, y'all, because how am I going to sell a car and then it get there and they're like, you didn't tell me about this, or you didn't, how am I not going to know? That's not professional. That's not even how I want to roll. I never want to be blindsided myself. I just want to be like, you know, I want to be on top of the whole deal. So yes, you inspect each one of the options. You go, your mechanic goes, send a report. I do a video test drive. This is thing that I started doing because I started selling a lot of cars on eBay, which is something I do think I want to tell you guys about at one time if you're interested on like how to do that, because that also was something that saved my business in the beginning. But I started selling a lot of cars on eBay. And why was I going here? Pre-inspecting cars. I literally lost the thought. What was it about eBay? All of these options are pre-inspected. So yeah, I pre-inspect the cars. So I forget where I was going with that. But yeah, definitely you want to pre-inspect your cars and know like what you working with. Okay. I don't even know where I was going with eBay. I started on something and it did not finish. Okay, Pierre says, did you mention non-refundable deposit? I didn't, but yeah, you want to definitely make sure you get a deposit up front, and part of that deposit is non-refundable. Now, the part that's non-refundable is up to you, but I encourage you to make sure there is a part that's non-refundable. And this is why, because you're going out doing work and you need to be compensated for that time and effort, okay? Don't sell yourself short. Get some money for your time, even if they back out the deal. I have had plenty of people back out the deal because the mechanic down the street had a car and they bought that. True story, okay? Or, you know, something happened and now they need the money for something else. They can't buy the car. All right. So that's not my issue. Like, I've already put in work. So I'm going to take this portion for my time and effort. So make sure you take a portion for your time and effort as well. So basically you're showing them pics of the cars and giving them VINs. I remember where I was going with the eBay now. Okay. And giving VINs for them to research, for them to decide if they want. They give you a load of money, hoping it goes under that amount. Then you just tell them you need $800 for doing the deal. Sort of, kind of. So let me go through part of that. So what helped to jog my memory, Chris, when you said, so you're showing them pics of the car, is that's where I was going. So on eBay, when I was selling cars on eBay, I started doing video test drives, because people want to see a video of the car. So I don't just show pics of the car. I do video test drives in the car that they want to buy. Okay. So it's not just pics, it's video test drives. Like, I'm actually in the car, I'm driving it, I'm showing them all kinds of different aspects of the car that I'm seeing. I'm giving them VINs, but I do the research for them, because this is part of the service they're paying for. And then if they decide that they want it, then they give me the money, and then the $800 is already included in the amount of money that they give me. So hopefully, Chris, that answers your question. I already get my profit when I tell them that this is the amount they need to give me before I go and bid on the car. Okay, there isn't okay, give me the money for a car. Okay, now give me money for the profit. No, just give me the money, and now I'm going to buy your car, and now I have my profit. Corey says, for me, if they back out, it's non-refundable. If we pick 3 cars and lose all 3 bids, I will give them 100% of their money back. Okay, great. For me, if we pick 3 cars, first of all, knock on wood, I've never lost all the bids on the cars, and I don't know. I mean, I think I kind of know why that is, but I'm gonna at least get the bid on one of those cars, okay? But if I do, then what I used to do in the beginning, because I didn't pick a whole lot of options, is I would have like one option. If we lost a bid on that one, then we would try again at the next auction. So I would give myself a time frame before I could, before the deal was dead, basically, like 30 days, or 2 weeks, or, whatever time frame you guys can agree on based on what their needs are. Then the deal is dead. Otherwise, I'm making it a sale. Okay, so that's just for me, and that's what I teach people to do in their program. Jesse, I do that when I list the vehicle on social media. You do the video test drive? Is that what you mean, Jesse? How is selling on eBay? Travis says, selling on eBay, I haven't done it in a while, but selling on eBay was awesome. Like, of course, it's a system. I had to learn how to sell it, just like anything. And I'm not trying to make it like, oh, you always got to learn, but that's just the truth. You always have to learn what's the best way to do it. Okay. And that's what I learned. Like, I listed a couple of cars, and then this would happen, that would happen. And then I would, adjust and then try again until I found the formula. And yeah, selling on eBay was great. I haven't done it in a while because I haven't needed to do it. Even though it was great, I like I like just selling the cars a little better, like not using eBay to sell the cars a little better. But it was clutch in the beginning. Okay, it was truly clutch. eBay came through for a sister in the beginning. Okay, all my sales, I want to say, were eBay for a little while. So I am going to just say this. It's almost 30 minutes. So let me wrap this up. So yeah, auto brokering is a great stream of income. You have to have a method to the madness. I am providing the method in the auto broker training. In the method, I'm also giving you my contract, because I feel like that is the most important part of the auto broker deal. Even if you don't do any of the other stuff I tell you about, please have a contract, okay? Because if you don't have a contract, all kinds of things can happen. And they range from the customer being mad to the courts saying you have, stolen money by conversion, okay? Like, there's a whole slew of things that can happen when you take somebody's money for a car and there is not an agreement on how this is gonna go, okay? So if the auto broker program is for you, or if you think you need training, then schedule a strategy session with me. I would say that that's number one, because you might actually do better or benefit more from the 6 weeks hands-on training. And so we get a chance to talk about that. But I also teach about auto brokering in there. But I also help you get your whole business together, like pull your whole business together, business systems, learning what to do at the auction, how to inspect cars, how to list them, like all of that. Okay. That may be for you, or you just may need auto broker training, this training. But first step, book a strategy session. If you've already had a strategy session and you're like, okay, but auto broker is the way to go, then the next step is to comment here, or I'm gonna include a link in the description where you can, basically put your hand up and be like, yeah, me for the auto broker, and then I'll email you with more details. All right. Chris says, how long are you doing video test drives and inspecting it before you give client the information to make a decision on if they want as one of the 3 options? Let me see if I understand what you mean. My video test drives, I'm not sure exactly how long they are. I think maybe like 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, where I just basically go through the car like I'm the buyer, and that's what I show them. And then how long am I giving them to make a decision if that's the car they want or not? I am, they have as long as they need to make the decision before the auction. The deadline is the auction. So if this is the car they want, they have to make the decision and get the money to me before the auction date. So that's how the time rolls. Before the client gets the info to decide. I'm still not quite sure I know exactly what you're talking about. Before the client gets the info to decide. But they have to make a decision before the car goes through the auction, period. So that's our date. So you start a week before or a day before. It really depends on when they come to me. If they come, if the auction's on Friday and they come to me on Thursday, that's too close to the auction because I need to be inspecting the cars on Thursday to buy them on Friday, okay? But if they come on Wednesday and I have time to inspect, or I can send my mechanic out to inspect, then we can do a Friday auction. It really just depends on where I am in my business at that time, how much time that I give them. But whatever is an option, that's the only option I present to them. So I don't present the Friday auction to them if that's not an option for me to even go. I only present what is an option as an option. Does that make any sense? All right, y'all. So it's been real once again. I feel so invigorated helping you all. Like I didn't realize it would feel like this, like giving away the secrets. Okay, Chris says, okay, awesome, thanks. You answered it. Okay, great. But yeah, this is definitely my jam. So come and get this contract so you can broker vehicles and sell more cars. All right. So I will talk to y'all next time. Book your strategy session and sign up for the auto broker training because I feel like this one might fill up. I only work with a couple of people, but I've had so many people ask me about this over the last couple of months. So I feel like this one is going to fill up. So if this is what you need, then, and I'll give you more details because it's not just a contract, but yeah, if you want more details, then let me know. Okay. All right, y'all, have a great day, CEOs, and I will talk to you later. Bye.